Hello and welcome to HIM Tutorials. Again I am here to help you in your online study. Fourth chapter, that is heat and temperature, we are learning, and the topic heat is going on. We have learned up to that what is heat. Heat is just a form of energy, and we have also learned different conversions of the heat energy. So today we are going to learn about the subtopic, that is how to determine the hotness or temperature. So without much delay, let's begin our session. So if I give you one glass of milk and I ask you a question that please tell me that this milk is hot, cold, warm or lukewarm, then what will you do to give me the answer? You simply touch that glass of milk, and when you touch that glass of milk, you will feel it with the help of your skin, because since skin is the largest sense organ in our body, so by touching and feeling, you are able to give me the answer of the question. But sometimes what happens, this touching and feeling is not appropriate and enough to give us the right answers. How they are not giving us right answer? Let's check out with the help of a simple activity. I will draw 3 bowls over here. Bowl A, bowl B, bowl C. Bowl A is having ice cold water. Bowl B is having with hot water, and bowl C is having lukewarm water. Lukewarm water means gunguna pani. Okay, so when a person, if I make a raw diagram of a person sitting over here, a person puts his left hand in A beaker and right hand in B beaker. So A hand experiences ice cold water, coolness, okay, and the B bowl, or you can say the right hand, will experiences the hot water. Left hand is experiencing ice cold water and right hand is experiencing hot water. So after a while, the person put out his hand from both the beakers and put both the hands in C beaker. So what it experiences? As A hand experiences what? Hot water, okay, and the B beaker hand, the right hand, experiences cold water. Why? Because here the temperature is cold, but here the temperature is high. So when from the ice cold water, the hand is put into the lukewarm water, that time the hand experiences hot water or little bit rise in temperature, okay. And in case of right hand, the hand is already at high temperature, hot water. So when the person puts out his hand from the beaker B and put it into the beaker C, which is at low temperature, that time some cooling effect is felt by the right hand. So by observing this experiment, it is not possible that a person could say exactly about the hotness and coolness of the water. So hotness and coolness of the water are just comparative, or you can say hot and cold word, hot and cold words are just comparative to each other, but they can't be perfect and or absolute. Hot and cold, right, that they are comparing. We can compare hot, we can compare cold, but they are not perfect or absolute. Why? Because they can't tell us the degree of hotness, because every object has got some degree of hotness and some degree of coolness in it. So the degree of hotness is called temperature. And when we talk in terms of temperature, then it will be easy for us. We can say that this water is ice cold water is cold water. How much degrees it is cold? Then it is absolute, it is perfect. Okay. And also when we talk in terms of hotness of water, then we can say that the water in the beaker, or you can say the water in the bowl B, how much degree they are hot, or you can say how much degree the water is hot. So we can easily give the answer, a perfect answer in the reading, in the form of readings. So the degree of hotness is called as the temperature. Now when the heat is gained by the objects, they undergo number of changes in them, and those changes which are due to the heat, they are called as the heating effects. So what is the effect of heat on different type of objects? We will discuss about that. So the effects of heat on different objects are as follows. First object is, when we heat any object, then it will undergo expansion. Okay, the molecules expand, and if we cool the object, then it will undergo contraction. So if there is gain of heat by the object, by the material, that will lead to expansion, and if there is loss of heat, means cooling out of the object, it will lead to contraction of that object. Okay, the first effect is of the heat is expansion and contraction. Second effect is change in state. So how change in state take place due to the heating effect? We have three states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. If solid we talk about, we will take an example of ice. In liquid it is water, and in gaseous form the water is water vapor. When we undergo heating, then on heating ice changes to water, okay, and that process is called as melting. Again on heating the water changes to water vapor, and that process is called as evaporation. Again, if we cool the temperature, on cooling, water vapor changes to water, that is called as condensation, and water changes to ice, that is called as freezing. So see, when the effect of heat is discussed, or we want to see the effects of heat, then easily we can see that on gaining the heat, ice changes to water, then water changes to water vapor on gaining the heat, on heating, and when water vapor loses the heat, then condensation take place and water vapor changes to water. Again further, when water loses more amount of heat, then water changes to ice, which is called as freezing. So this is also a very main effect of the heat, that is with the help of heat we can undergo change in state of the matter. Third thing is chemical reactions. Or changes. For example, we want to make curd from the milk. So, we know that in the curd there is one bacteria present which is called as Lactobacillus bacteria, and this Lactobacillus bacteria is very much essential to make curd from the milk. Now you have seen your mother, what your mother do? She took the milk and she warms the milk. It means the heat is given to that milk, because in cool milk if you add the curd, a pinch of curd, or you add this bacteria, because if you are adding the curd you are adding what? You are adding bacteria to that milk. So the curdling of the milk will not take place, curd will not form. So to make the curd, the milk is first warmed up to certain temperature. Okay, after warming the milk we will add curd. Okay, and when we add curd in small amount, then within the time of 5 to 6 hours this milk will change into curd. So when we have to go for different type of food makings, then also we have to take the help of heat, because bacteria is undergoing chemical reactions in the milk and the bacteria will form the curd with the help of these chemical reactions. So heat also help in chemical reactions in many food items. The next one is, the fourth one is food preservation. Food preservation means sometimes what we have to do to preserve the food for the long time, what we do? We heat that food. For example, if I talk about milk, then to preserve the milk from the spoilage, we just heat the milk. And when we heat the milk, what we are going to do? We are just killing the bacteria which is present inside the milk, because at high temperature bacteria killed out. Okay, now you will ask a question that in milk, when you are going for curdling, you are just warming the milk, you are increasing the temperature, but we are not heating the milk, we are just warming the milk. Okay, but here in food preservation, to preserve the milk from being not spoiled, we have to heat the milk at very high temperature. We are heating the milk, again cooling it, heating the milk, again cooling it, and in big industries the milk is preserved with this activity, with this process which is called as pasteurization. And with the help of this heating and cooling, continuous heating and cooling, what happens? The bacteria killed out and the milk is preserved for the long time. Also, the fifth point is that heat can affect the life processes. Means the life processes of plants and animals are also affected by the heat. You have seen that different foods are available in different climatic seasons. So some fruits and vegetables are available in summer, some are available in winter, and they are also ripe in different times. So heating is also affecting the life processes which are related to plants and related to animals. The sixth thing, the last effect which heat performs, that it can burn the things. Some materials like paper, wood, coal, petroleum, when they heat up to some level, then after that level they catch fire, and when they catch fire they release more amount of heat. So if they release more amount of heat, so those things can be used as fuel. and this fuel can be used for industrial purpose, can be used for domestic purpose. So this is all about the effects of the heat. So let's recap very quickly about the things which we have learned today. We have learned that how hot and cold things are just, or hot or cold words are only comparative to each other. They are not perfect, they are not absolute, because the degree of hotness is only and only calculated with the help of temperature. Once we know about the temperature, we can know the degrees of hotness and the degrees of coolness of the things. Okay, so the effects of heats are as follows. It can lead to expansion and contraction of the materials. It can lead to change in state, that is from solid to liquid, liquid to gas. Chemical reactions or chemical changes are also there with the help of heat. Food preservation we can go for. Also, it affects the life processes of the plants and animals. And last is that it helps in burning the things. So it is very helpful to make fuel which can be used for domestic purpose, for the industrial purpose. So this is all about today's session. So up to our next video, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.